In this video, I will show you how to install OpenClaw or Clawdbot completely step by step using Docker to hopefully avoid any errors from happening. So let's get right into it. Now the first thing that we need to do is decide on which device we want to install Docker and OpenClaw. I would strongly suggest not downloading it on your main PC because everything that you can do on your PC it would be able to do, which is extremely risky if you have any personal info on it. So the safest and most affordable way, which I will also be using, is installing OpenClaw on a VPS. Which, if you don't know what a VPS is essentially just a fresh virtual PC that runs 24/7. That way I'm not risking any of my personal data, and because it runs 24/7, we can have access to the bot whenever we want. It's a much cheaper alternative than spending hundreds of dollars on a dedicated device like Mac Mini. So the VPS provider that I will be using is Hostinger because it's the simplest one to set up and also one of the cheapest. So this will be a budget beginner setup, and also because we're using Docker, hopefully we can avoid any errors from happening. Now, if you would also like to use Hostinger, I will leave a link in the description below that will also give you extra 20% off. If the link doesn't work, I'll also leave a promo code or a coupon code that will do the same. Now, that link will bring you to the Hostinger's VPS page where we would need to choose a VPS plan. So at the moment for my OpenClaw bot, I'm using the KVM2 plan, which has all we need to host our OpenClaw bot. So 8 GB of RAM and 100 GB of space for all our memories and skills. So I will choose this plan. And then right here we just need to configure our VPS. So it should automatically pick the location that has the lowest latency. As you can see, for me that's Germany, so I will just leave it at this. And for the operating system, I will choose plain OS and then select Ubuntu Linux. Then I will just leave it at this version and press confirm. Next up, you can choose a time period for your VPS. So if you plan on using OpenClaw for a long period of time, you can choose between 12 and 24 months. For example, I will choose 12 months. And here you can use a coupon code HOW220 if the discount wasn't automatically applied. Then once you finish this up, you would only need to choose a password for your VPS, and then your VPS will be ready in a couple of minutes. So I'll meet you on the next page where we can start the setup process with Docker in the terminal. So this is the homepage of your VPS server, and here to access the terminal, you would just need to click on terminal right here. And the first thing that I would suggest you to do is update your VPS server, so you can use this command right here. I will also link all the commands in the description below in order so you can open that document and just copy paste the commands as we go. But it's nothing too technical, it's just 3 commands that we would need to execute, and everything will be set up from those 3 commands. So let's go ahead and quickly update our VPS server. Now I'm on the latest version, so it didn't take so much time. Next up, let's go ahead and install Docker. Again, all the commands will be in the description below. So we use these commands to install Docker and then press enter. This might take a few minutes. So a few minutes have passed and Docker has been successfully installed, so this is where we need to execute our third and final command before we get into the whole setup process. Now the last command will install OpenClaw and initiate this setup using Docker. So let's go ahead and execute this command. Now this command might take even longer to execute, so we just need to wait a couple of minutes until the Docker build image is complete. And here we are. So after about 4 or 5 minutes, the setup was complete, and now we got our OpenClaw wizard right here. So from here, we would just need to go through the wizard to set everything up. So to go through the wizard, you would just need to use your arrow keys, just like this, and then press enter to select your response. So for the first one, you would just need to select yes, I understand this is powerful and inherently risky. So just go ahead and select yes using enter. Then we will select quick start, and here is where you actually need to select the brain of your OpenClaw bot. So you have a lot of different choices. Now if you have a subscription for OpenAI, you can go ahead and use the API key for that, but for me, as this is a budget guide, I will go for the Google Gemini access, because Google Gemini gives you some free credits or API calls each day, so we can use a limited free version. Now again, I will select Google Gemini by just pressing enter. Then I will select Use Gemini API key, and here's where we need to input our Gemini API key. So for this, I'm going in the AI Studio from Google, and in the API key section, I will just select Create API key, and then just create a key. Once the API key is created, just go ahead and simply press copy right here, and let's go back to our terminal. In your terminal, just go ahead and paste the API key, so you can paste it manually just like this, or you can press Ctrl-Shift-V. Just be sure not to accidentally exit the setup wizard. And if you do, I made a video about how you can get back into the setup wizard, so you can check that one out. Now, once we have our API key pasted, let's go ahead and confirm it by pressing enter. After you input the API key, you will get this menu right here. So if you used an API key from, let's say, ChatGPT or some other model, this might look slightly different for you, but because we're using a Gemini API key, and if we want to go the free route, we would just need to select either 1.5 Flash version or 2.0 Flash. So the free version only supports the Flash options. So I'll go ahead and select the Flash version. And then here's the part of the wizard where you need to select your desired app through which you want to communicate with your OpenClaw bot. So for this, the easiest one to set up is Telegram. If you want to set it up using Discord, I made a video about it and I will leave it linked in the upper right corner, or you can just search it on the channel. But essentially for this one, I will select Telegram because it's the quickest one to set up. Then it might take a few seconds for the next menu to load, where we will have all the instructions available. And there we go. So it finally loaded. Now all the loadings in this process might take a while because we're going through Docker to verify everything, so just keep that in mind. Now here, let's go ahead and open Telegram and find the bot father user so we can create a bot which will facilitate our communication with OpenClaw. So once you're in Telegram, just go ahead and search for botfather in the search bar and then select this user right here. Again, if you want to set it up with Discord, you can find that video on my channel. But for now, let's go ahead and continue with Telegram. So once you find the botfather, you would just need to press start right here, and then he will send you this message. Now in this message, you just go ahead and select the new bot feature right here. And then you would need to give your bot a display name. So let's say something like this, and then I will just copy it so we can set up its username now. So I just copy pasted its name, and then you would need to add _bot for it to actually be valid. And because this acts as a username, it would need to be a unique username. So I will just add some random numbers to it so we don't get an error message. And there we go. So the username was available and the bot was created. What you need to do from here is just use this API token to connect the Telegram bot and the OpenClaw Clawdbot. So once you have your API key, just go ahead and paste it over here and then press enter. Once you paste over your token and press enter, you can configure skills. So this is the whole selling point of the OpenClaw bot. So here you would just need to select yes if you want to configure skills now, and then just go ahead and install Homebrew by again selecting yes. Then select npm, and here is the skills menu where you can configure your skills. So you select skills by using your upper and lower arrows and then just pressing space on whichever skill you would like to import. If you accidentally select a skill that you don't want, you can just hover over it and press space to deselect it. So the most important skill that I would suggest is Cloud Hub, because that would allow you to publish new skills through your chat app, so using your OpenClaw bot. So I will just go ahead and select that one, but you can choose whichever one works for you and then press enter once you've finished with the skill selection. Then it will install the skills that you selected. Then looks like it had some issues with installing the Cloud Hub skill, but we can configure this later through the chat app. So for the Google Places and so on, I will just skip these for now, because we can also configure it through chat. And then once you reach the enable hooks section, you can also skip this by selecting space and then pressing enter. And here your bot is created. Now to access your bot, you will just need to open Telegram or whichever service that you connected it with and just click this link right here. So this is your bot, you can just go ahead and press start, and then your bot should respond with a message like this. So essentially guys, that's how you can set up OpenClaw bot using Docker. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.